In this video, I want to share some experiences I had with collabs and remixes, because I think it's a really good opportunity to learn and to leverage your career as a producer. So first things first, why should you make collabs? So there are different reasons for this, and I think the one, and which is most important for me actually, is the learning experience, because always when you work with another producer, he will give you usually very good and very honest feedback about your production. Because if you show like a track to a friend, people usually will respond nicely to you and say, yeah, it's a really cool track, everything all right. Or if you don't know them very good, they may not even respond at all. So there's like a lot you can get from learning wise out of collabs, because you will receive material from the other guy which you can analyze. The other guy will give you a lot of feedback, which I will show you later, on your production. So for example, you have a lot of patterns you might do in every track, or you might do in general in your production, which might be not good, and he gives you kind of like raw and honest feedback. Sometimes it's about taste and style, but a lot of times it's things you should consider and try and improve on that. And the second big thing is it will leverage your career. No matter if the other artist is smaller or bigger than you, there's usually kind of like a circle of fans in your fan base and a circle of fans in his fan base. And as you're choosing usually an artist which has the same kind of like genre, style, whatever than you, then these circles will overlap a lot, and you will have access to a lot of people who didn't know about your music and who will know about your music when you release it and they hear it on the other artist's profile, which they are already fans of. So that's a really strong point for making collabs as well. And the third point I see in there is it will help you to organize your workflow and your projects, because you are forced to work a little bit cleaner, I guess, and a little bit more with thought, and maybe like also with a deadline, which is probably good for a lot of you guys who have tracks like from last year open. It will really force you to put to put a lid on it, to get going, to get flowing, and to end projects and to abandon them. So basically I see there's two ways how you can get really good into collabs. So the first thing is obviously you know the guy, so whatever you networked at some festival, it's a friend of you, it's a friend of a friend. So that's actually the more easy way, I think, to get access to an artist. It's a mixture of the guy needs to trust you, that you don't put his leads or somewhere to download, or that you steal them and make something. So it's like a trust thing first. Then it's also the guy needs to like your stuff, and we also usually like stuff more where we like the people behind it. So it's easier if you kind of like have some vitamin B in it. But there's also a second way, which I will talk in a minute about. But to the first thing, what you can do is basically you can scan your network, you can see which artists you have worked together with, and then ask them to make you an introduction. So this project here, for example, I did with Amplify, it's his album. I basically was looking a little bit through songs I liked. I have my Spotify. By the way, I have like a Spotify playlist, which I need to update once in a while, but there you find like a lot of the music I like. And I was looking at the artists in that Spotify playlist, and then I found like two songs. One was I think Etal and Amplify, and one was Hypnoise and Amplify. And the thing is, because I know Lunatica, I was at a festival and I got to know Hypnoise. We talked at the Flow Festival a bit. Then I knew Hypnoise from the festival, and I asked Hypnoise if he can give me an introduction, and that's what he did. Basically, he put us in a WhatsApp group, and then I could pitch to Amplify that I want to make a track with him, and he was very open to it, because he was making this album, but he was also playing it a bit safe. And that's kind of like the next thing, which you will have to deal with if you're the smaller artist. Then you will need to move a little bit more. What I basically did, he said, I want to go in that direction with my album, and he asked me to create something, and I created like a half of a track, which I think was really good, and which ended up to be like a lot in the final project. And so I think that's a very important point if you want to do a collab with another person, then be the one who gives the service. So the best thing is actually, maybe if you already have a really great project, which is like maybe half finished, and you know which is his direction and what he likes, and you can send him that and he can take like risk-free. But you need to think of the point of the other person. For the other person, you're the smaller artist. He will not gain much attraction from your fans. You really need to excel musically. So don't send your like B stuff to him, send your kind of like total A game. If you have something which you think is extraordinary good, send that out for collabs, because that will be the bait for your fishing hook to get the other artist hooked to your collab project. And yeah, I must admit, I went already through some stages. I have made some connections in the scene. So be prepared. Be more than prepared. So have the best of your best things. Be willing to sacrifice your valuable creations if you want to aim for like a better artist than you, an artist which is more experienced, which is longer in the scene, which is just like more far than you. You need to offer something on the table, because otherwise it will be hard for you. And of course, you also need to look to make the connection to them first, because let's say you have that great track and you send it out to a lot of artists. I will promise you that a lot of them won't even listen. You know, I'm kind of like still a small artist, and I get like a lot of music sent by people. And imagine those guys who are really big, they will get like a lot more stuff. And also aim for somebody who is kind of like in your reach. So if you're a beginner, then aim for an intermediate. Maybe if you're an intermediate, maybe you are aiming for a more pro person, or maybe even somebody who has less traction than you, but is musically very good. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, it will really help me to grow my YouTube and to spread those videos to more people. And that will help me with my channel, which will help you in the end, because then I will make more videos, I will make better videos. Then I want to talk quickly about a more easy way to get to projects with bigger artists, and it's remixes. Because again, if you think from the point of view from the other person, it's like that. If they collab with you, they need to invest their valuable time, which they could invest with somebody else. So it's like a trust and a time commitment. But if you do a remix for a person, it's mostly a trust commitment, because they already made all that leads from their project. So if they are able to bounce them quickly out of their project because they are organized and the project is not like 20 years old, so maybe search for some more recent stuff which is not super recent, but let's say maybe you find some really cool project like 3 years ago from that artist, or 4 years, where he wasn't that far as he is now, but it has some great elements which you could lift to a new level. Then you're giving this artist a benefit. You make his music shine more. He doesn't have to invest like super much time, because he just needs to bounce you that project. And for example, in Ableton, super quick, you just select all the tracks and make export individual tracks, and you have an export of all your leads. If you saved your project right. And if you want to know how to save your project right, I will link to a video up here about prepare for mixing. They can find more information on that. And then they send you the stuff, and you need to do your creations, and you send them back, and either they like it, then you have a track with them. It's a remix track, but it's a track with them, or they don't like it and you need to do something else. Or they don't like it, and there's a really cool strategy for that. What I usually do is I put all of their stems they sent me, all of the leads, into a separate group in my project. And if they don't like it, so I did this, for example, in a lot of competitions, because competitions, have more competition in them, so you not always win that. And I had times where I had, in my opinion, a really cool track, but I didn't like it. So what I then did is I had that group of all their tracks, and I just replaced track by track with like a similar kind of like preset and similar pattern and notes. And in the end, I had my own project, which doesn't have any material from the other artist, but which is still a full project. So that's kind of the other way you can go. It's the same, like if you have some vitamin B, it's good. But if you don't have, for example, I did a remix for A-Tech now, and it's exactly that case. I'm remixing a track from an old various artists competition, which wasn't his level, I think, which he has now. but which got lifted to a new level and which sounds hopefully better than the original. And I like it really, and I have sent it to a few people to get some feedback, and they also really liked it. And I'm really excited because I really believe that track got a fucking banger now. And it also will open me the doors, because he already said he really likes my remix. And if he likes my remix, he has trust and he likes my music, and that will help me to make like a real collab in the future with, for example, A-Tech. And that's a cool thing. So just saying, like, that's how things go. And I want to tell you quickly about the learning experience. So for example, I'm doing an EP together with an artist I met in Dash Glitch's Inner Circle Discord, which is also a Discord I can really recommend you guys for getting a member. You will find other peers which are also very talented. As we are very long members of his circle, we kind of like got to know each other over time, and we already did a project before. And he's a really talented artist and has great hearing and everything, and I'm really glad to get kind of like feedback from a guy who knows musically a lot. And for example, he sent me the kick and bass and drums, and I did like a brainstorm and a very quick like raw first arrangement. I sent it to him, and then he sent me back his feedback, and that will help me also in the future to improve my own tracks, because he has a total different opinion. He has maybe seen different tutorials, he has done different masterclasses, he has had different experiences in making his projects, and all of those experience and all of that knowledge I can profit from by listening and trying the feedback he gives me and see what changes he does to the material I give him back. And just to show you a little bit how this works, he just sent me some material. I sent him back like a link how I arranged it, and then he gave me like a lot of feedback on what he would improve in the track. And then I'm sending him back like portions of the track, for example, like synths, MIDI clips and stuff, which he can then work on them. So that's a different way of a collab, and I think it's a very valuable way where you'll learn a lot. And it's not always about getting the fame and all the listeners from the other guy. Sometimes the other guy may be a little bit weaker in his social media game, but he may be the more talented artist than you in the end, and that can also really work out. So really pay attention to those guys who are very talented and I would say like underrated. By the way, check out his music, Cosmic Sidekick. He has very, very cool music, South African guy. And also be prepared that EP will be a killer EP. I swear the first track is already going into a crazy direction. Let me know in the comments which topics you're interested, so that I can make videos exactly for you on that topic. And give this video a thumbs up, because that will help me to spread this video.